How are you guys? Welcome.
I got my $35 ponytail. Does it look all right?
You got your what?
My $35 ponytail.
You look beautiful, Kimberly.
You look great.
She's a keeper, Sonia. You need to have her on the show every Tuesday.
That's another show.
She brightens up the virtual showroom.
Absolutely. So what are we going to talk about tonight, Kimberly?
Well, gosh, what I originally and am going to speak about is what brought me to my spiritual, you know, what brought me to believing that there was a huge change that needs to be made in my life, and it was basically my spiritual reality of what was going on with me. It took me 12 to 15 years to figure that out. And as I've shared with you in the past, which I've not shared with, I've made, you know, hundreds of friends in 120 days on the internet, and out of my very good friends, I would say there's 5, and out of my very best friends, I would say there's 3, and you're one of those, and I would say you're the only one that knows this stuff. So I'm a little kind of nervous, but I just want to share because I want to let people know that it can be done. It can be done. It's possible. Everything is possible. And somebody like me that has been on the wrong path or was on the wrong path for 12 to 15 years, which doesn't seem like a lot when you're 18,
right?
But when you're 32, you're pretty much that's a long time.
Oh yeah.
And now
but you know what? How is it on the wrong path? Because it led you to here, right? To right now, and you live pretty nicely right now.
I do, and I'm so fortunate, you know. But it's like this, you know. I'm a smart girl, and I knew, but nobody else knew. You know, it was always like, yeah, right, Kimberly. You know, yeah, sure. You know, whatever you say. You know, you're into what now? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're right behind you, sure. But, you know, I knew that was my family, and I knew they really were, but I never made any really amazing, wonderful choices, you know. It started out, I was a teenager, and I came from a broken home, like many of us do. My parents divorced at I was 14. My father left us for an 18-year-old at the time.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, my sister was 11. I was 14. I cried in my mom's arms. We sat there crying for probably 3 hours. I'd never known grief like that other than my dog dying, you know, because I'd never had any relatives die. And it was amazing. It was like your father's leaving. And my parents never even fought, so it was kind of crazy. But he left. And I pretty much had free reign. I mean, my mother had to work 2 jobs, and I had free reign, and I went out and did what I wanted to do and hung out with whoever I wanted to hang out. But I was responsible in the fact that I came home, you know, when she said to, and if I wasn't there, I made a phone call, or I was there an hour later. You know, I mean, very rare would I ever just, you know, freak her out and not come home at all. I mean, if it was to that point, she already knew I had, you know, my one boyfriend I had for 7 years when I was 15 to 22, and she knew I was there. But other than that, I didn't really do that, where I didn't come home all night, unless she got a phone call. And but the most part was, you know, I just got involved with the, you know, I wanted to live fun, and my boyfriends had motorcycles, and, you know, we listened to, you know, Metallica and Megadeth and Ozzy Osbourne, and we smoked dope, and, you know, we did acid because it was the best acid of the week, you know, or the best mushrooms.
You guys were like crazy wild, huh?
Well, it wasn't, I don't want to give you the wrong idea, because it wasn't, I mean, I don't know, you know, when I was in recovery, we were taught to not think we were better than another person because we didn't do a certain drug. And so I don't want to give you the, the misrepresentation that because I wasn't a needle user or a certain drug user, that I wasn't as bad as them, because that's not fair. And I learned that in recovery. That's not fair. So I went to concerts. I didn't do, mushrooms or mescaline or acid on a normal basis. It was the thing to do at a concert. I knew my parents would kill me if I didn't go to school. I was there. I might have been late, but I went to school. And I was scared of my parents. I was scared of my father, even when he wasn't living with us. I was scared to death of my parents. But it was a healthy fear, I feel. It wasn't a fear that, oh my God, they're going to, beat me. It was a healthy fear. And I believe that with, giving that to my children today. But anyway, so I did what I wanted to do. And 22 years, not 22 years, I'm sorry. I was 22, 7 years went by. I did what I wanted to do. I moved out of the house, still doing drugs, got into meth, got into crank, was, doing speed. And that pretty much took over my life. It was about waking up in the morning, figuring out where we were going to get it, if we didn't have it already. Enjoying the day. Made sure we had enough, for, what we were going to do for the next day. And then we decided how we were going to get through the next day, if we didn't have enough, and what we were going to do, at what time we were going to get it, and how we were going to get through that night. And it didn't seem like that then, even though I know it was like that now, if that makes sense. I mean, does that make sense to you guys? I mean, I was just,
Yes, Kimberly, it makes a lot of sense. You're bringing up a lot of past memories for myself as well, and I'm also raising a 17-year-old daughter right now, and some of the issues, they just remain the same when, I call them in-between-agers, when someone's trying to cross over from childhood to adulthood, and it's so unfriendly at times.
Oh, for sure, for sure. When you're dealing with so much at that age, peer pressure and just, everything you can imagine, the different peer pressure groups and the groups that, you want to be popular with. You want to be popular with the jock kids or the popular kids or or with a certain guy. And, my God, I would never want to go through that again. Although, if I had to, at least I would know what I was doing this time. So,
have you noticed, Kimberly, that the kids that are having issues these days, and the parents are either busy or maybe don't have a great relationship with their kids, they send them to a counselor or a therapist or a psychiatrist, and I am not kidding, but the first thing they want to do is write a prescription drug out, and they immediately start, just because it's given through prescription, I don't know, a long time ago, they didn't give kids drugs to, help them grow up, you know what I mean? They gave them good guidelines and consequences for their actions and wrong actions. They learned values and how to contribute either to the family or to a job. I don't know, it's just really different in today's day too, trying to raise, kids without them being given a prescription to tell them this is going to help you or make you better. I'm not even sure I know what the difference is sometimes, with these prescription drugs and street drugs.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because, I dated a guy that, many years ago, even though it was many years after, I was out of high school, but it was many years ago from today that he had a spell on Ritalin, and and that's when that was like the biggest thing. Oh my God, he's on Ritalin. And excuse me, 1 second. I'm just going to turn off my phone. The main thing was that what I understood was that it was kind of wild because the people at the school said if he did not have his dose of Ritalin, they were going to send him home. I mean, he must have been that bad. I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know what that school was thinking. But you know, and he had to go to the office to take it because they